fine. Welcome to today's episode. Watching MD90 live here in Lusaka, here in Zambia. So stay tuned till the very end. Don't click out and subscribe if you haven't already.
Well, Miles Sampa has been on the ground and he issued a statement that was quoted by the Daily Nation. It says, free, fair, pause, impossible. That's Miles Sampa's statement quoted there, simply saying elections this year cannot be free and fair under the prevailing climate. He goes further to say, quoted by Kalemba, says, I can contest as member of parliament in any of the 7 constituencies in Lusaka and win by a landslide. Miles Sampa says. And then obviously people just laughed at that statement. So you should say, I mean, he does not necessarily have to stand in Matero. He can stand anywhere and he would win by a landslide. But he's been on the ground, so he had posted the video. Said this afternoon I was at Matero Level 1 hospital in Matero to check on one of his support staff. And then he put up that image of his works, simply saying even if he was to contest in any constituency, he would still win. And then he put up those statistics, Lusaka district constituency population, it tabulates it, and it goes further to say, so for a population of 2.1 million in Lusaka district, with the current 7 constituencies, they are proposing to create only 3 new constituencies in Kanyama, Munari, and 1 to combine part of Chawama and part of Lusaka Central. New Kabwata into 1. So he tabulates us, and those are the new proposals. According to the delimitation exercise that is currently ongoing by the ECZ, as you may be aware of the 70 new constituencies, they are proposing to take close to 50,000 voters away from Matero to a new constituency in Kanyama, and about 80,000 voters away from Mandevu to a new constituency in Munari. They are, however, forgetting that Lusaka city votes as 1. So simply saying, even if they change the tabulation of the constituencies, the voters in Lusaka will vote as 1 block. So if they are voting against the ruling government, it's against them. And then he goes further to say, this is still Miles Sampa, figures don't lie, Mandevu and Matero constituencies respectively have the highest population density in the country. Population density is the number of human beings per square meter, he says there. And population density is the number of human beings per small piece of land. He tabulates it, pretty much putting out some statistics. But as you may be aware, the Catholic Church is not one to shy away from political conversations or anything to do with the nation. Anything to do with people, you expect the Catholic Church to be in the thick of things. And the last couple of hours, they've been training, and mostly it's stemming from the visit of President Hakainde Hichilema on the Copperbelt, where he had gone to meet up with the students from the Copperbelt. And as part of that interaction, he also visited the Catholic Church in Indora, and that's where those statements are coming from. So obviously, there's a back and forth between Shishua and Archbishop Benjamin Piri, shocks Shishua. Obviously, Chief Tayari also supports the bishop. And so there's a statement that was issued by the bishop. And then Archbishop Piri acting like Judas. The pastoral letter was clear. He has betrayed, that's the body of bishops, ZCCB, Shishua. So simply saying any statement that has been issued from the Copperbelt Archbishop is contrary to what they had agreed on when they issued that statement at Caritas in Kablonga. So that back and forth. Why is money has hijacked our democracy? Mazoka, that's Mutinta Mazoka, that's Fred Membe's wife. She says our democracy has been hijacked by money. And so Frank Barra wrote to say Archbishop Benjamin Piri was represented by his Van Vicar General Father Louis of the Archdiocese of Ndora Chifubu there, and then they alight when the president went to visit the church. And then Emmanuel Mwamba puts up an article. He says, churches are not political platforms, Bishop Piri. That's 8th August 2022. That's a statement he had issued, according to Manuel Momba. Says Catholic Diocese of Ndora, Bishop Benjamin Piri has repeated his directive that no politician should be given a platform to speak to a faithful during Mass or within the church premises outside the church premises outside after Mass. Bishop Piri is in his latest communication said he has noted that some parishes are allowing visiting politicians to speak during Mass, which is contrary to the directive he issued just before the 2021 general elections. So he said this directive still stands. The chief shepherd reiterated is that politicians visiting churches should be treated like any ordinary Christian coming to worship. Bishop Piri said churches are not political platforms, and Archbishop Archbishop Piri has urged the church to pray for political leaders that they may work in unity and for the betterment of the human lives. So obviously that statement coming from there, and then he doubled down on that pretty much statement. Manuel Mwamba put up a recent pictures of the president when he visited there. Obviously, that conversation continues. Vice President Hakainde Hichilema has just issued this statement. This was made during the time he was interacting with the students on the Copper Belt. He says education has done a lot for me, for some of us. Otherwise, I would have been here standing. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been here standing and talking the way I am. I would have been in the village, married to 8 wives, President Hakainde Hichilema. So during the interaction with the students, the president simply saying, had it not been for education, he would have been stayed in Wengwa and probably as a villager, married to 8 wives instead of just having one. That's Mutinda Hichilema, his wife. So he credits the change of his life to education, which gave him an opportunity, an equal playing field as compared to those kids that come from rich families, because he did not come from one at a time. And now his kids are rich kids. Everything started from education, pretty much encouraging the students, simply saying, focus on your education. A lot of opportunities are out there when one is enlightened and educated. And then Africa has all the ingredients needed for growth, but must take ownership of its development agenda, President Hakainde Hichilema. This is in the statement that is just made. Because right now, as I'm broadcasting this, the president is meeting up with his Botswana counterpart at Kazungula. And there's something the President Hakainde Hichilema is in Kasune, Botswana, to commission the Kazungula Bridge Authority, KBA, with that country's president, Duma Boko. So the president of Botswana and Zambia are currently in Kazungula, where they're launching the Kazungula Border Authority or Bridge Authority there. And then Zambia and Botswana will allow citizens from both countries to use smart national identity cards to travel as travel documents when crossing Kazungula Bridge. Bridge border. Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security has communicated. So that's one of the development that has come from that interaction between President Hakainde Hichilema and the Botswana counterpart, where they are simply stating, for Zambians to go into Botswana, all they need is their national ID, and for Botswana or for the Swanas to come into Zambia, all they need is their national ID from Botswana. That's very commendable. That's one thing. As someone who travels, I appreciate that. And then Daily Liberation says Emenda justifies Hakainde Hichilema UPND action against ministers and MPs. They are too big for such small things like Bill 7. Let them go and do their own big things and leave Bill 7 to other small people. So it seems like this conversation of the ministers that were recently fired, it seems like it's becoming a wave. Somewhat. No one is coming out direct to confirm to say those ministers were kicked out of parliament, kicked out of government because they did not vote for Bill 7. But you can see if the Secretary General of the party is simply saying if those that did not vote for Bill 7 are too big for such things, let them get out and go and do their big things outside the parliament. So simply goes to show these guys, the likelihood of them being adopted this election cycle, I don't see it happening. it looks like it's done and dusted. They're just waiting for them to run their last 2 months of parliament. Once it's dissolved, new people are going to be picked in those constituencies from the look of things. Because it's been subtle, but now it's becoming very loud to say that's the primary reason why they were fired. Anyway, we wait and see how it plays out. That's the news, ladies and gentlemen. Have a beautiful day.